Hello to myself and everybody else. This is video 58. This video is basically a year-long review. Well, not really a year-long review. Basically, it's been 1 year since I started making these videos, and I want to use this to review and see like how far I've gotten, how close I am to my goal, and see my progression and all that. So basically, I just want to see like within a year just how everything has been going along. So basically here, what I have open right now, this is the Word document from the second video I made, basically that just has what my goal and stuff was and what I was going to do to try to achieve it. Like last time I made this was September 2nd of 2024. This one I'm recording on September 14th, but in 2025. But I released the second video of this, I think, around the first Tuesday of October. So as long as I just record this before that, I still consider it a year. So technically I might be a bit over that or under it, I don't know, but I'm just still going to count it. So basically what I said was my personal goal, like end goal, was to make video games as a career. Basically, if I have to say, just without looking at everything else so far, like without going fully into it, I do not feel like I'm anywhere close to this. Specifically because, as again, it's like September 14th of 2025. I graduate in December of 2025 and I'll be done with college. So I am like nowhere close to being able to like leave college and go, okay, I can make video games. I've released a few, made some money to kind of show I can do this. Like I haven't done that yet. So I released some games, but made no money off of them. And I still have a lot of other stuff to still cover on that. But I'll be going through that as I work my way through this. So basically, right now, without looking at my progress, I'm pretty sure I'm nowhere close. I'm a little bit closer, but I'm not like anywhere close to being like concrete into saying this is a career right now. So far, I said the things I need to learn or to achieve in order to achieve my goal was programming, art / how to draw, music, and marketing. So far, I'll just look through each one of these just to show off what I've been doing in each one, because I've kind of been working on stuff that I could in each one, but not 100%. I'll get into that in a second. But if I keep looking down, basically it says the things I've done so far is programming on the Game Maker Studio, including some of my old games like Top Hat Hero, basic programming, drag and drop stuff, Shadow Child, drag and drops with little bits of code, Yes No Adventure, script gotten from YouTube to learn how to, put text in programming, and Buy Some Milk, main source of practice, which is basically the main thing I use to practice right now. So if I basically just I'm just going to go into it and just show a little bit of stuff off of that real quick. Okay, so far I'm here. Basically what I've done so far in this, like if we take a look at the main character of story 5, the calf's upgrade and everything, basically with this I've just worked through it and everything too. You can see like all the code and stuff I put into this, and just way more of the code I put into this stuff as well. Basically I've been through this, just a lot of trial and error and just trying to like fix stuff and just get things to work. The main thing I can say is, since the last time I've done this, I definitely have, while working on this, learned more things about programming. Like, for example, I've learned that when I was, let me show before. Before, when I was doing this, like, we take a look at, like, let me see if I can find it in here, because I have a lot of stuff. Because I have it like commented and separated so I can find it a bit more easier. Yeah, so around here. This stuff here is for when the calf charges, it gives it a different sprite. So basically to show while it's charging, when it's fully charged. Same thing for when it gets hit. It will start flashing while still charging and eventually change when it's fully charged and stuff as well. Through this before, a lot of the code I have for like sprite index equals whatever the sprite is at that time. Before, I used to actually have the sprite written down in here. So if I can actually find the sprite and everything real quick. So like here, I would actually have the actual name of the sprite and everything itself. And yeah, it's really long. I'm so terrible at naming my stuff, but basically I would have the name of the sprite and stuff physically like here in the area for whatever I had to do. So if I had to make a change, I had to go through every single one of these and change the sprites. Before, it could be easy where I could just use like Control F and just find whatever I needed to find in the search bar up here. But eventually I just kind of figured out, which I know a lot of people probably already know, but again, the thing I had to trial and error for myself, I'm learning this on my own, is come in here, set a variable, and then put the sprite name. So basically, I could just like take the, sprite idle equals whatever the idle sprite is, put it in here, and then if something goes wrong later or if I have to change the sprite, I can just change the sprite here and everything will be fine everywhere else rather than having to manually go through and change every sprite. Again, that's something obvious that people who've been doing this for a while would know. Even people who like went to school for programming will probably also tell you and know. Me, I went to school for programming, didn't learn a single thing at school, so this is something I had to learn on my own. Which, again, just trial and error, various things like that. Same thing where it also came down to just working through this and just figuring out like certain problems and everything as well. Like things with and I'll probably just show it in game real quick, so I'm going to bring that up. So far, I also learned things like when I was making this, like the dash and everything, there used to be a problem and stuff with this as well. That when you would dash and get hit by something and knock back, you would clip through the wall, it would make the game think you're dead and then reset you. That would be a huge problem where it came to bosses with something that will push you back. But from working with this and trying a lot of stuff, I eventually kind of accidentally figured out a way to fix that problem. Basically, what I accidentally figured out was in story 5, you have something called a super dash where you run really fast. And in doing that, you would clip through walls because you're moving so fast. So basically, I started putting objects like this in the room, this white block and everything and stuff right here. And I use it so if you would run into the wall, it would make you stop moving and you wouldn't clip through anything. From a bunch of trial and error, I basically found out that it kind of fixed another problem that I was having before, that wall clipping thing where you're getting pushed back. It also fixed that problem as well, so when you're getting hit, you would get knocked backwards into the wall and everything like that. So far, what I ended up figuring out and stuff with that was when I have this wall and stuff here, you would get hit backwards and everything and it would stop you as you just saw before. So that's a way for me to prevent the clip and everything. That was something I found out by complete accident. When I was just trying to get the enemies and stuff here to work, I just accidentally figured that out. So just little things like that from just working on this, I just figured out little things and everything just working on it. A lot of trial and error, just going through and just like trying a bunch of stuff. As you can see with this, I have a bunch of code, a bunch of comments, just showing what I learned, why I had things the way they were. Just a lot of stuff to figure out and everything as well. Specifically with the conveyor belts, as you can see, I have a lot of commented stuff here because it took me a while to figure that out. But yeah, that's my main thing and stuff there too with this. Is that when it came down to programming, within a year, I definitely have made progress. I've gotten better at just like solving problems, understanding where some of my problems come from with my old code and everything, and just figuring out what I want, how to do it, breaking down steps, a lot of things like that. Just things taking time. I still absolutely need to learn things like scripts, and recently I looked up something about shaders, which I heard about them but never really knew how to use them. I'm still not using them, but I at least have a better idea of what they are and how to use them, so I'll try to implement that in the next game. But yeah, basically with programming, I have made a decent amount of progress with this through me working on story 5. I'm still a bit far off from actually finishing that because school is getting in the way and other stuff, but again, definitely I say I've made some progress with this. Not a ton to be able to like help somebody else in making a game. I'm still like very in the amateur level, but again, definitely within a year I've made some progress that I can say I'm happy with. I still got a long way to go, but it's still progress. When it comes down to art, this is something where, again, last year when I looked at this, I had Shadow Child, which I just kind of used some like simple things for that, just very basic, just square art and everything. Buy some milk. First time I actually made more complex pixel art, like bosses and various stuff like that too. And I started looking at art books as well. So far, since that last year, if I have to say, I have absolutely made more progress, like a decent amount. Because so far, if we take a look back at Buy Some Milk, where I said some of my progress and stuff was, you can see that when I started off with story 1, my pixel art was pretty basic and everything. We're just trying to get into it. Story 2, again, I made both story 1 and 2 in the same day, so you can see my progress still kind of basic, but I at least got a tiny bit better, I feel like. Then a year later to 3, I still say this is one of my best thumbnails I've made. So far, again, pretty expressive. Took a while, but again, pretty good. And then 4, this one, I say it's probably one of my most colorful ones I've made. Messing around with shadows and everything. When it comes down to pixel art, I at least say I've made some progress with this. And I want to improve and keep going more with that. So far I haven't made it for story 5 yet, but I do feel like I'm making progress, and the fact that I'm willing to keep trying more things with this means I am improving. I still say I'm far off from being able to make like something super complex, because if we look back basically at some of the other stuff I've done when it comes to art and everything, I say glance at some art books. So far, the 2 books I've been looking at is Cartooning the Head and Figure by Jack Ham, and another book for basically drawing the human figure and everything like that as well. Those 2 books, it took me some time to work on, to try to get better and everything, but I still am nowhere close to really being able to draw people perfectly. Still taking me time on that. But if we look at some of the stuff I've done over the course of this year, when it comes down to some of my drawings, like for this is when I was trying gesture drawing, just trying a bunch of different stuff. But as you can see, this isn't perfect whatsoever, but it has a ton of variety. I was trying and experimenting with something, which is way further than I would have went back then a year ago. I would have been hesitant to try anything different that the book told me, so again, at least I experimented, tried some stuff. Same thing with this, like I was experimenting drawing the head and everything stuff as well. Trying different motions when it comes down to armature. Like taking a picture and then just trying like various, like to try to continue it. So the middle here is the base image, and then going down, just trying to draw stuff before it and after it. Yeah, not perfect, but just still trying stuff. Doing this made me more confident with just experimenting, trying different things. Even allowed me to just see, okay, here's the areas I need to work on, like proportion and everything for drawing the human figure. With this, I learned like as well through more research and just trying stuff, how to get better proportion, like drawing circles for the joints and the hips, ankles, various stuff like that. As you can see, again, still have a long way to go with measuring stuff, but this within that year of time doesn't look too bad. There's definitely still problems with it, but again, doesn't really look crazy bad. Armature, trying basic stuff with that and everything as well. Again, just trying the humanoid stuff with the other book. Again, got more confident just trying various stuff out. Still have a long way to go because currently I'm working with trying to draw like a simplified skeleton since I moved past armature. So that's definitely a big thing. Also with some of my current work in practice and stuff as well. As you can see, again, I've at least gotten better just experimenting with different kinds of stuff with armature as well. Even looking to the right, I'm moving on to the next part with the simplified skeleton, just trying to get like the head and everything down. I still definitely have ways to go on that. I'm getting the jawline really mixed up, but again, at least I'm experimenting, moving forward, getting more comfortable with it. So again, I am making progress with this. Now when it comes down to the cartooning part of drawing as well, with the cartooning part, again, I've definitely went through a lot of practice when it comes down to emotion, head shapes, and just trying a variety of different things. Like basically seeing how I like to draw my cartoons, either drawing the head first or drawing the face first, and working through a bunch of different emotions. Even came up with my own like chart for just how eyes and everything work in cartoons as well. Just a lot of different experimentation working through the book, and so far with that one I have a lot of videos on that, a ton of progress, and if I have to say, I definitely am getting a bit further in that. Because just, as you can see, just all the different things I've tried and stuff within the span of a year, experimenting with different eyes and lots of other practice and everything. With this, if I had to say, cartooning, I definitely am making progress on that. Just trying a bunch of random stuff out. Up next, I said I wanted to try like some stuff for my own characters as well. And again, as you can see, just all the variety of faces and everything and stuff as well. So I'm going to see if I can find the thing I was working on earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, looking through these, I've tried a lot of stuff with cartoons because there's just been a lot of pages just trying a lot of stuff. Yeah, so far I've only found like one of the things I was trying for a character I'm just messing around with. I don't have that much stuff right now, but again, something like this, just kind of messing around with a character, getting their face and everything. But yeah, so far again, just looking at the other thing as well. If I go back to this, yeah, messing around with art, there has been some progress I've made. Again, just besides pixel art with Buy Some Milk, so far the realistic kind of approach. Again, armature, still working on that. Moving forward to simplified skeletons, so starting to make things look more 3D. Then, with the cartooning, just trying to be more expressive, different emotions, and we're moving on eventually to the body and stuff with that. And even with that, though, I've only really showed off the stuff I've been doing on the computer, just drawing stuff on there, because I have to do it for the videos, but basically the other things I've been doing as well are things in my sketchbook and everything as well, where basically when I started working with a pencil and started trying to work with like more ink, because when I first got started I discovered I like drawing with ink because I have to actually like take my time and think way more. So with that, I basically started working with two sketchbooks, one mostly for pencil and another one with pen. So I'll go ahead and like pull that up real quick. Yeah, so far these pictures, again, very basic looking, not the best, but this is just early on stuff I started doing in my sketchbook. Just when I first got started, had no idea what I was doing, no direction. So I was just trying random things out just to see really what I could do. So that's why a lot of these just look kind of like weird, but at least I was just trying something. And as time went on, Again, I say at least got a tiny bit better. Yeah, so far this picture here is just like concept art and stuff too, when I was just doing stuff for Buy Some Milk and all that. Just little things so I could just like see how things will work. This is where I actually learn like how important concept art is, because it at least lets you see what you're trying to draw instead of just trying to draw it completely blind like I was before. So the stuff at least helped out like a little bit. But if I go ahead and just jump ahead real quick. Yeah, because like so far if I just jump ahead to here. So far this is my attempt at drawing like a landscape. Again, not that bad, but definitely isn't perfect. Again, just trying stuff in no direction, just seeing what I could do. Here I would just practice drawing more faces and everything as well, because early on I was just trying to like practice more emotions on my own just to see what I could do. And as you can see in cartooning, I had to practice that way more, so just experimenting with these did help quite a lot. Just trying a bunch of faces and heads just to see what I could do. And same thing, just a lot more just expressions and everything. The pictures aren't the best, but just had to do what I could do. Just more prototyping. A lot of prototyping. Just, again, I at least do have to give myself props for, because this was before I had the cartooning book. I was just trying stuff to just see what it was like. And again, not too bad. I was experimenting quite a bit. I feel like I kind of lost the skill to do this. Like, I feel like I'm more concrete and stuff now. But I really should go back and just experiment with this stuff a bit more, because it helps out a lot. Just trying random things. This one actually was me practicing hitching and everything as well, because I was working with Art Academy on the 3DS, and I was trying something with drawing a tree. And again, did help out quite a bit. I really should finish that game. Or, it's a game technically, but I should finish it, because that actually was kind of helping me a bit. I should go back through that. Yeah, another thing you'll probably take note of too is that like I do tend to try to just draw eyes and stuff a lot. I'm not that good at it, but I really do like trying to draw eyes. Like just trying random stuff like that. Again, I like how expressive they are, and I just want to like keep trying to draw more of them. But I really should try to get better at that. Just again, just the thing I noticed when I was going through this, because especially another sketchbook I have too, where I basically try a bit more and they actually look a bit better, but just still continuing on. Just like again, just looking through these, a lot of faces and everything and stuff I tried as well. Precursors to cartooning, again, all before I had the cartooning book, so I was just trying some things. And again, just a lot of variety when it comes down to it. Yeah. So far, this one here, this one is something I actually drew when I bought a landscaping book. Basically that book, because landscapes, I say I'm like actually okay at drawing those. I just need a lot more practice. But because I say I'm okay at doing those, I tend to just kind of like ignore that a bit and just wanted to work on what I'm struggling with, which is people, because I have a terrible time coming up with characters, enemies, and things like that. So I want to be able to draw stuff out. So that's why I'm working with people. But looking at this, again, doesn't look too bad. Something I just tried and everything as well. Just like looking at a picture and just seeing if I could replicate it. No tracing or anything. Just visually just tried to like draw my own representation. Again, not perfect, but doesn't really look too bad. This one here, this is basically the concept art I'm doing for a character I'm just messing around with. So far, this was just early on. Still have like no exact idea like what entirely to do. Face wise, I at least have that down. Cause this is the early concept. The stuff in squares, I was like maybe might work. But, and then just like little other things stuff as well too. Just experimenting, just concept art and trying stuff. But I know when I go forward, I get the face actually down to what I want. So let me see if I can find that. Oh yeah, here's just me experimenting with like the eyes and everything as well for the character, just to mess around with them. But yeah, in the bottom part down here, this is basically the face that I kind of go for each time. So in concept, it's kind of the face, but I have it a bit better somewhere else. Yeah, here. So far, this is the face and everything that I came up with. Basically, just trying different expressions out to see how he will look. Eventually, I went with the beard look and everything as well. Just kind of come more like specific with it. So just me prototyping a character. And just still trying more like different emotions and expressions with him. But yeah, so far again, that's just with this one. I've been going on for this one like quite a while. Just basically, this is my first sketchbook. So this is what I was messing around with. The second sketchbook and stuff that I have, let me bring that up real quick. The second sketchbook that I have is this one. This one is the one where I started drawing stuff with a fountain pen and was just experimenting, because as you can see on this page, I experiment with ink, a pen, and then a gel pen, and just the varying different results. And yeah, with this, around time I just started messing around with just like random pens and then eventually a fountain pen to just try and see what I could do. Going back to this one, like I said, I started experimenting with ink, which made me legit have to stop and think about what I was actually drawing, compared to with the other one in pencil, where I would just kind of put something down and just be like, I can erase it later, so I really don't need to think. Even if I tried to slow it down, I would still be going too fast. Until I got with ink, then I genuinely figured out, yes, I need to slow down way more. Because you can see, I just like tried a bunch of random things and everything, and they don't actually look too bad, if I have to say so myself. And again, as you can see, I just like experiment drawing eyes and stuff a lot. I just want to get better at doing that. Just a weird obsession I have with just trying to draw them. Again, none of these are really perfect, but just stuff I was messing around with. Same thing with this one, just more random eyes, messing around with lines and everything. Just filling out a page and everything here, just trying a bunch of random stuff. Just practice drawing shapes, trying different like, yeah, because this one here I think is when I got my like dip pens and everything, just trying out different nibs and everything like that. Just seeing like line thickness and how everything would come out. So just experimenting with that. And then here we're just like sketching with a fountain pen every now and then, just seeing what I could do. And yeah, like looking back through these, I was a bit more creative with this with pen. I feel like I need to get back to that. Just try drawing with like, paper and ink again. Just trying a bunch of like various stuff, because it feels like this thing's like way more creative, and I at least have like better progress a bit with this. I just need to get back to that, so I would definitely try to do that. Same thing with here, just trying more eyes and everything. Messing around, just trying to get back into drawing like armature and everything once I kind of like took that break from it. Just messing around. And then here at the bottom, same thing, just more concept stuff for characters I'm working with. So just, I got like a bit more consistent, just messing around with stuff, just seeing what I could do. Same thing again, just messing around with more stuff. Again, more eyes and everything, just try drawing those a lot more. More character expressions and emotions. And then just ended it off here with just like trying the character again, just more emotion and expression. So far, again, just me going through all that and everything too. Just looking at all the things I've done over the year. Again, I've absolutely, with art, made more progress. I've gotten way more confident in just trying stuff, especially with cartooning. Pixel art, I haven't practiced that much. But again, landscape wise and thumbnail wise, I can at least feel more confident trying more stuff. Perspective wise, I've again also experimented with that as well. And the realism stuff, that I still have a long way to go. I'm still working with armature and gesture drawing. So, or, well, actually, no, not really gesture, but mostly just went from armature to simplified skeleton. And I still need more practice and progress with that. So I'm going to try to like work with that a bit more. When it comes down to music, with music, I have not really worked on that too much. Because at most hit Buy Some Milk, first game I made music for, that wasn't too bad. I haven't practiced making any music for Buy Some Milk Story 5 yet. And I haven't really practiced music in this... well, that's not true. In a year, I've tried a little bit to make music. I really have not made anything concrete or even anything to really work off of. I just experimented a bit, couldn't get anything down, and then kind of just stopped because I had schoolwork and stuff again. So kind of something like that. But something I have kind of found out within this year working, I have kind of discovered another thing. Because normally I make my music in beatbox, which is this right here. And with that, I basically discovered like one thing with beatbox where before, when I would try to make music and everything in this, if I had like two things next to each other, like the square wave, and then I would hit play, it would sound like this. Sounds like one long note. But eventually I figured out if I go to customize instruments and go to effects, turn off transition type, and now I hit play, it sounds like two notes next to each other. Again, that's something really small, but when you can't really make two notes next to each other sound like two notes, it sounds like one long note, it really does limit what you can make. So now that I figured out I can do that, I can at least experiment with more options now. As well as I also found this other thing called Fami Studio. And in Fami Studio, this basically, the layout of this is really similar to beatbox, where you can like lay out, notes and everything and just kind of control how things work, because things are kind of like split off into parts just like in beatbox. Now what I have on the screen right now, I didn't make this. This is one of the pre-made things that come, like once you download Fami Studio, you can just have a bunch of like songs and everything stuff already pre-made to just kind of show examples of what can be made in here. Like for example, I'm going to play like part of something here that was made in it, the music from Shovel Knight. So play a little bit of this. Like so far with this, again, the fact that somebody can make this kind of music in Fami Studio means, again, with practice, I can actually make something. Because Fami Studio is basically specifically made for like chiptune and stuff like that as well, which is something I really want to make. So at least I have another thing I can like practice and make stuff in, as well as how you make the instruments and everything in this as well. You basically go to the side, you make the instruments, you can set like all the settings and everything for the different instruments. The way this works, it's very similar to Fami Tracker, which is a tracking, well, it's a tracker used to make music. And making instruments in that are really similar. So with Fami Studio, it's a bit easier, so I should at least get more comfortable doing this. But so far, the whole thing, like I said again though, is that when it comes down to music, within this whole year, I really haven't had that much practice with this. But I at least found something else to practice stuff in that could be a bit simpler compared to just jumping into a tracker. And with what I discovered with beatbox, I should hopefully be able to create more interesting stuff. So again, not really much progress, but information that should help me make progress. In marketing, Basically, same thing. I really haven't done anything at all. The YouTube part, basically I use YouTube to put out my trailers and links, which this is my YouTube channel and everything here. So far for this, really all I do is just kind of like make my videos and put them out here, and that's really it, just to show my progress, and that's it. As you can see, I've been making like a lot of these over like the span of this year. The fact that I have 54 videos currently out, and my oldest videos were from 5 years ago, like Shadow Child, Top Ed Hero, Buy Some Milk, Stories 1, 2, and 3, all the way up to 4. And then from this, my first devlog, again, it says 11 months ago and stuff for that too. But again, it came out in October, so in a bit it should say a year. But again, with that and everything, it's taking me some time, but I'm still, like, marketing wise, not the best, because again, really nobody watches my stuff whatsoever. I have 62 videos out, but I'm not really making these for people to watch, even though I kind of record them like that. I basically record these for myself so I can keep track of my progress, and if anybody finds these, they can work along or just kind of see what's up. Because basically looking at my playlist and everything like that too, have the beatbox videos I made, my random rambling videos, my cartooning, the head and figure videos, which I have 21 of those, how to draw people and figures, I only have 7 of those, and all the videos overall, I have 55 of those. Basically, again, just putting my videos and stuff out there, just for me to be able to like have a constant schedule and just keep improving and everything. But in a sense of marketing, really I've made no progress in that, because the forums I don't really use unless my game is finished. I don't really advertise my stuff too much. To be royally honest with you, I probably should market my stuff a bit better so people can, like, see what I make, want to wish list it if they're interested. I also need to put my games out on Steam, things like that. A lot of stuff I really haven't worked with yet, but eventually I will. So far, again, just going down this list, I said the things I was going to do: programming, continue making games, trying new things, acquiring new skills, build confidence in programming, and to regain things I've learned or done before, or to reinforce things I've learned and done before. Again, how much of that have I done? Again, I'm still continuing to work on Buy Some Milk Story 5. Eventually, I want to work on some other games, probably some shorter stuff, because I keep making projects that take like a year or a few months to make. Acquire new skills. Again, from all the programming, I have improved on that and learned a lot of stuff from what I was doing, so that's definitely useful. Build confidence. Again, I've built confidence for working on my solo games, but if I had someone else who wanted my help, I wouldn't feel super confident in helping. So, because I still say my knowledge is limited, but if it's somebody else who's also learning like me, we probably could make something. So, again, confidence-wise, in myself alone, pretty good. Confidence-wise, with someone else or as a job, not that high. So, again, I'll take what I can get. Still a little bit of confidence, still pretty good. Reinforce things I've learned before. Again, definitely reinforce some stuff and just reinforce some of the new stuff I've learned. So there's that. And like I said, I'm using Game Maker Studio. Really haven't used nothing else yet. With art, practice pixel art. Again, Story 5, sort of. But I really haven't practiced pixel art that much. I really have not. So work with art books that I bought and see what we can learn from them. Again, I'm learning a lot from the cartooning book, getting a lot of confidence with that, with drawing different faces and features. Again, experimenting a lot, so definitely learn some stuff from that. The book for drawing like realistic kind of people, like with the armature and the gestures and all that, and simplified skeletons. With that, I've learned some stuff with armature, simplified skeletons. I'm working on that now. It's just the gesture drawings. That's something where I say that book I'm working with, it should have put it later in the book. But again, it made me do research and learn some other stuff. So again, just take what I can get. I learned some stuff. Good. The drawing pad, I've been working with that a decent amount, specifically when making my videos. So I have made some progress with that. And with digital, again, I'm getting pretty comfortable working with this stuff. I'm still working with very basic tools. Like with Krita, I just use a very basic brush, and I still draw my stuff really small. Same thing where I still use things like paint, very basic stuff, but I'm at least still making progress. So again, not too bad. And I said the books I've been working with, the same 2 books I mentioned before, How to Draw People. Again, pretty good progress. I'm also going to work with the Marvel Way. That's another book that's pretty good. Cartooning the Head and Figure. That one, pretty good progress on. Also, there's another book I got called Animation. And that one, again, a lot of stuff in it. A lot of like pretty good like old techniques and everything in it as well. But it'll probably be a little bit before I work with that. It is the thing I said where before this year is up, I do want to be able to draw okay, basically for the How to Draw People, the realistic kind of thing, I want to be able to make at least like a mannequin-esque drawing of somebody, like with 3D and, you know, stuff like that and all. But I probably will not be able to do that by the end of this year unless I kind of rush, because I'm currently working on the head and the simplified skeletons. But when I get into like the simplified volumes, that's a whole other chapter, and it might take me a while before I get to that. Cartooning the Head and Figure, that one I want to be able to draw at least, or well, let me phrase it like this. Basically, I want to be able to get to the part in the book where it focuses on the body, and with that, I'm currently getting close to that, because basically the next part I'm on is just drawing like female features like the head and face, and then from there it's caricatures, which I think that will help me be able to draw like hair and everything like that. But after that is the body. So I want to be able to, before the end of this year, before I'm out of college, be able to just like next year work on the body and, you know, clothing and everything like that. So I might be able to do that because I'm actually pretty close to that part. I might even be able to work on the body before this year is up. Because with the cartooning book, I'm definitely probably going to finish that before I finish the other book. So that's definitely a thing that I'm just taking into, you know, consideration. But yeah, cartooning, I at least will definitely be able to get through that one pretty quick. So again, going pretty well with that. But with the music, I said I'll look through my old music, which I did because I made those videos on it, and analyze what I did, what my thought process was, all that I did in the other videos. When I'm making new music, I want to just try some stuff on my own, and then eventually record myself making something to just like see my process and everything, because that's something I really need to do. And I said the software, the DAWs I'm using, it said Beatbox mostly, LMMS. I mostly use that for sound effects. And from this, I'll also add on the other stuff I'm going to use, such as Family Studio. Like, I'll also use that as well, but later on, once I get a bit better or more comfortable making stuff in Beatbox. So once I do that, then you move on to Family Studio and make more things. Marketing. So far, I said I had no idea what to do for this. I just said making these devlogs and diaries to show progress on what I'm working on. Again, show my progress. That is good marketing to show like how I'm learning, show my progression and everything. But I think marketing wise, what I really should do, I definitely know putting my stuff on Steam would help a lot. Because no matter how like not perfect my games are at the moment, because I'm getting started, there is a chance somebody will find it, play it, and give honest like feedback. Because my other games, people are downloading them and playing them, but I'm not really getting any feedback. So again, at most I got feedback from one person who played Buy Some Milk, who wanted to interview me and stuff too on the game, which again, that went pretty well. But again, I would like more feedback and stuff as well, just to like see what people think about the game. But yeah, basically, again, putting my game on Steam definitely would allow for people to find the game, play it, and that would definitely be really useful. So I should do that. And I said the sites I would use are YouTube, Game Maker Forums, Itch, Game Jolt, and Steam in the future. Again, I really should get the Steam part up, but I want to finish Bison Milk Story 5 before I move on with some stuff. And somebody finally posted a video on how to upload your stuff to Steam if you use Game Maker. So that's something that's really useful that's finally there. So I'm glad that's up. So yeah, I'll deal with that and stuff once I get everything in order. But yeah, that's really it and everything I have on here. So basically, if I go back up to here, like I said again, after looking through all of my stuff and basically rambling on my art, which again, I'm the only one watching this, so yeah, whatever. But the whole thing with this is my professional end goal to make video games as a career. After looking through all of this, my programming, my art, my lack of music practice, and my lack of marketing, if I have to say, I really doubt, to be perfectly honest, I doubt I'll reach my end goal before the deadline I kind of set for myself, before I finish college. Because before I was going for 2 degrees and I was going to be here for an undetermined amount of time because these degrees were terrible. But now that I got lucky enough to be able to drop a degree and I'm just getting the simpler one and getting out, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to have a career making video games before this year's up, or at least by the end of this year of 2025. So this is something I'm going to have to keep working on into 2025 as well, absolutely, because my programming, it has gotten better. It definitely has gotten better for me, but I still only know Game Maker language. I don't know any other language for programming. And I keep giving myself a bunch of like tasks to do to learn stuff. So I just have like a lot on my plate and everything with school and everything and stuff. And then when I get a job, that's also going to be more stuff as well. But basically just programming wise, got more confident with myself. But I got to get more skilled in just a variety of stuff to be able to make more interesting things. That's definitely a thing I need to do. When it comes down to art, as you can see, wait, crap, I'm messing this up. As you've seen with all the stuff I have shown, again, within the span of a year, I've improved, got more confident, but I'm still nowhere close to being able to make fully like designed characters yet. I still have a ways to go and a lot of practice before I can really do that. But I can still make my basic style of characters, so that's still a pretty good thing to be able to do. But I still do need a lot of practice, which I currently am doing. And I probably will not be able to like draw full-fledged characters before this year's up. That will definitely be something into next year and ahead. But again, with the progress I'm making, I'm hoping that I will be able to do this. I am confident that I will eventually be able to do this. It's not an impossible thing. It will just take some time. Music, after I finish Story 5, I will absolutely just practice and work on that because I need to get better. So I will absolutely work on that. Just practice making things I want to hear. And just, coming up with a theme in my head, practicing stuff, learn how to get rhythm, because again, just when I'm trying to make something, my rhythm is off compared to listening to something. It just, I'm overthinking it like a madman. And when it comes down to marketing, with marketing, I really do need to put my games on Steam, and I need to probably like get my games out, or get the word out about my games a bit more to have people interested in playing them. And I especially need to work on making better trailers, because my trailers are not that good at all. I really need to practice making like good trailers, so that's something I need to like find videos on and just like get tips and advice and just kind of learn, practice making trailers on random things, just getting better at that. So that's definitely something I need to practice. But from there, with all that put together, again, this goal will not be reached by the end of this year, but I will not give up working to eventually make this like a complete thing. I will be able to make games in the future even better than I am now, and I will be able to get my stuff out there and just, actually be able to make money off of this stuff. I will try everything I can, keep making these videos to record my progress. I will keep trying to get better. Overall, I will keep trying. So yeah, even though my goal won't be reached by the end of this year, I still will acknowledge that I've made progress in my programming and art, plan on making progress in my music and marketing. Hopefully I make progress on that. I just need to work on it. I will keep trying all that stuff so we can try to see within the year, see within next year, so around time like September of, or at least before October, the first Tuesday in October in 2026, basically make this video again, come back and just see what can be done, or not what can be done, at least see what have I done, where am I at, am I any closer, things like that. So yeah, that's really it for the year-long review. Again, I know I'm just repeating this too, but just still for myself, just again, as of making this video, you're not there yet, but you're getting closer to having the career you want. You're going to have to suffer through some stuff, like I said, like getting a job you don't really like or care about, and probably having to deal with some like annoying clients and customers, but it will all be worth it once you're able to have a job you actually like and do something you're actually interested in. So just keep working, keep trying, keep your ideas and stuff like that too written down and work on those later. We got this. That's the main thing to take away. We got this. Just keep working. We got this. But yeah, so again, I've really talked long enough and everything and rambled a lot, but yeah, so basically again, if anybody's watching this, again, same to you. You got this. Keep working towards what you're going for. Takes practice and determination. If nobody believes in you, we believe in you and you believe in yourself. Again, we got this. So to myself and everybody else, see you in the next one.